obviously in 2021 we had a great experience with you and got to see you a few times this year. And we don't have Jim McMahon here for you, but we are pleased to welcome you to the 2025 Rate Bowl here. The Gophers 7-5 this year, a great season. If we know one thing about Coach Fleck, it's going to be a hard-nosed, consistent team. Bowl eligible for the third time in the last 4 years, 8 straight bowl victories for the Gophers, the longest streak in FBS. And one of those, like I mentioned, was back in 2021 when they came here to Chase Field and defeated West Virginia by an 18-6 score on a team that had several injuries. I know, Coach, you don't like to talk about that, but that was the case that day. So welcome back to the Valley, and I'll kick it over to you.
Yeah, first and foremost, the Gophers are really excited to get back to the desert, that's for sure. As I look outside, we've got about 8 inches of snow on the ground. We can't wait to get out to the sand and cacti. So cannot wait to get out to the Rate Bowl. So Scott, thank you very much. Thank you for all you do and the staff. It means so much to us. I want to thank our executive director and CEO, Eric Moses, and the board chair, Judy Burness, for all that she's been able to do. And the title sponsor Rate. So we've really enjoyed getting to know all of those people back in 2021. It was a great bowl game for us and an elite experience for all of our players. Also, just want to thank the entire Yellow Jacket committee. I've known a lot of those guys for a long time. So they always treat Minnesotans like family and part of the community. So I know I speak on behalf of our athletic director, Mark Coyle, and ourselves as we say we cannot wait to get out to Arizona. We have a lot of Minnesotans out there that are a lot of snowbirds out there in Arizona as well. So playing an elite opponent, I have a lot of respect for what Coach Eck has done in a very short amount of time, going 9-3 this year, playing Michigan tough, and then blowing out UCLA, another Big Ten opponent. I know they had a historic season, so congratulations to New Mexico and Coach Eck on a fantastic season. So we look forward to finding a way to be 1-0 and preparing, and we got practice today. And I know our guys were having a big team meeting to kind of celebrate where we're headed. And I know a lot of them under their breath were like, are we going to Arizona? Are we going to go to Arizona? I think that they were really excited that the Rate Bowl picked us. So thank you very much to everybody involved. And I know our Gopher fans and our Gopher players can't wait to get out to the desert. So with that, we'll open up for questions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Coach. We'll lead it off with Andy from St. Paul. Andy, you're up for Coach.
PJ, what did your experience in 2021 at the Rate Bowl do to influence you to accept the bid this time around?
Well, I already mentioned the weather. That was a big piece of it, but it's really the people. Bowl games are about people. It's about celebrating the season that you just had. And also it's a start of the 26th season. I've always thought that. And when you go out to the Rate Bowl, Scott, Eric, their staff, Judy, everybody is unbelievable. They really kind of go above and beyond to make the student athlete experience first class. And you know how hard that can be these days. A lot of our student athletes make plenty of money and they can go do experiences on their own. But to think about what we're going to be able to do as a football team, continue to connect this football team, celebrate what they accomplished in 2025, but also have an extension of 2020 or a start of 26. There's no better place to do that than the desert. So incredible hotel, incredible atmosphere. The events are absolutely tremendous. And they give a lot of our players a lot of time to be able to enjoy that Phoenix area in an elite fashion.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to move over to New Mexican, Will Weber.
Coach, you're facing an adversary, Jason Eck. He played for Barry Alvarez at Wisconsin. Kind of models his teams after those old Wisconsin teams. Like, what do you know about UNM? Just because, I know they probably don't appear on TV quite a bit in the Minnesota Big Ten area, but what do you know about them?
Well, I'm a football fan too, so don't worry. I stay up really late on those Saturdays and watch a lot of those late night West Coast games and Mountain West games as well. So pretty familiar with Coach Eck. He was at Minnesota State. He was at South Dakota State. I love when people can turn around something really quickly. It kind of draws my attention and I'm kind of a magnet towards those type of people because that takes, it's really hard to do and it takes a really strong culture. And when you see how they play, I haven't watched them a ton. But I've followed them and they've kind of popped up on film based on who we've played and some crossovers. So I know they're going to be hard-nosed. They're going to be really tough. They're producing at a high level. They've won a ton of games. They won some close ones, and they've had some blowouts too. But you know that when you're going to face a team that's coached by him, they're going to be tough. They're going to be hard-nosed. And that's not only a credit to him, but his background on how he's continued to lead the teams that he's led to get to this point.
I do have a follow-up to that real quick. He's one of these guys who's been a lifelong assistant coach up until just recently when he was at Idaho. But he's worked his way through the food chain, and he's had a million stops, and he's basically lived out of a suitcase. Can you relate to him on certain levels like that?
Well, I think every day in this profession, you're always earning it. And I don't think anything's given in this profession. I think it's always earned. And you might be given a chance, but you've earned that chance somewhere along the road. Somebody has to be able to believe in you and believe in what they're getting. And I think he's a journeyman. He's won everywhere he's been. He's got a great reputation in this profession. And when you get your shot, that's your shot. A lot of times you don't get another shot. So you've got to take advantage of that, earn everything you get. And knowing what I know of him from afar, he's an earn it type coach, that's for sure, and earned everything that he's gotten.
Thanks, Coach.
You bet.
Thank you. We'll go to Randy Johnson.
Yeah, PJ, you mentioned that this is kind of a springboard toward the 2026 season. What's the most important thing you need to accomplish in your team with these practices in this game?
I think sometimes we lose sight of how important bowl games are because of the practices that we get. We're going to get about 11 practices starting today. We've already had 2, but we're probably going to get a close to 11 more before we actually kick off. Some are walkthroughs, some are actual practices, but you get to develop your young talent within the organization. You're able to celebrate the guys that are sticking around to play the bowl game who had a fantastic 2025, and you're celebrating their career. You're celebrating a group of seniors who gave a lot to this organization and gave a lot to this university and this football program and have seen a lot in this program, especially Derek LeCaptain, a kid like him. You're celebrating him in this performance that you're about ready to go play. And he's a kid that's played more Gopher football games than anybody in the history of Gopher football. You get a chance to be able to celebrate him. So I think there's a lot of things. One, it's the development towards the future with a lot of your young players that are returning, but you get to celebrate the moments and memories you've had along the way with the 25 players of those guys that are not opting out, the guys that are playing in it. So I think that's really beneficial come bowl season, that you get to be around your team. You get to be able to go on it's not a vacation, but you get to go somewhere with your team for multiple days, really connect, really bond, which starts that 26 process, but also that 25 is a celebration. So we look forward to doing that, and we're already 2 practices in.
Just a follow-up on that. Do you expect many opt-outs for this game?
College football is a crazy world. It really is. You could have somebody here today and gone tomorrow. You expect what you expect. You expect it to be a little bit unpredictable. But we'll have a really good team ready to go come December 26th. That's for sure.
Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. We'll move on to the Mountain West Connection. Roger, you're up for Coach Fleck. You're on mute, Roger. There you go. No,
There you go. Good. Can you hear me?
Now we got you. Yep.
All right. Hey, Coach, congratulations on a great season. I have a lot of family in Minnesota. It's a great state.
Really is.
Yeah, it really is. I've been there many times as a grandkid. I have no region. So, hey, Will kind of took my question. How familiar are you with the scheme that they run, and what kind of game do you, your team, obviously, Jason Eck, the kind of scheme he runs defensively, offensively. What do you expect out of this game? This is kind of, most New Mexicans thought we were going to go to the New Mexico Bowl. We just found out today. So tell us about your experience with that bowl game and what you expect of the game.
Yeah, I wish I could give you a better answer, but we just found out like everybody else, and I know that, you hear different opponents over the last 24 hours as you keep going forward, and then it kind of gets pinpointed to New Mexico. And I know this, we're starting our game plan tomorrow morning, so I'll have more information if you ask me that later on. But we start our game plan tomorrow morning, and, Monday, Tuesday, we're going to be a little bit more of us diving into the game plan and really looking at what they do and how they do it. But the DNA of the football team starts with the head football coach. The attitude, the style that they play, and I know how tough Coach Eck is. So I know that they're going to be a really tough opponent, and they'll be ready to play on the 26th just like us.
Thank you.
Pierre, you're up for Coach Fleck, Fox 9, Minneapolis.
EJ, obviously you guys have had tremendous success in bowl games since you've gotten here, undefeated, as I'm sure you know. But what would you attribute that to? And as the years keep going and you keep going undefeated in bowl games, do you feel any kind of pressure to keep that streak going at all?
No, not really. Every game you want to be 1-0. You really do. Like that's the way we look at it. I think we have a very unique way of preparing for bowl games. I think our kids really want to be in them. They enjoy playing football. They love football, and that's why I love coaching our players. And I think anytime you have a bowl game and have an opportunity to play, you do it. I think our guys respect the game wholeheartedly, and when you look at it through the preparation, I mean, there's a balance, right, between like how hard you're going, how long you're going. Bowl prep's very different than in season, and it's also different than training camp. So it's got its own preparation. I'm not saying there's a perfect formula. Every type of bowl season that we've had has been a completely different schedule. It's not just, hey, we do this one thing. We adapt our practice schedule, our meetings, the times based on that particular football team of what that needs during that course leading up to that game. So it's no different. The mindset's doing everything we can to be 1-0 and go play our best football game of the year with no matter who's out there. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges and one of the most exciting things in bowl preparation as you go forward too. Is sometimes the teams that you get to the bowl game isn't necessarily a team that you had with that last game of the year. So that's what makes it exciting, makes it interesting, makes it exciting for the fans. But that's why it's also an extension of 25 and propelling into 2026. So, but no, I mean, we look at it as a one-game championship season.
We'll go back to Andy Greeter. Andy, I think you had a follow-up question for PJ.
PJ, you made a change at defensive line coach. Can you talk a little bit about why you made that decision and what you want to see the future leadership of that position?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Dodd is a tremendous football coach and a really, really good person. Just felt like we needed to make a change in that position right now in leadership. And those are really difficult decisions to make. And he's done a tremendous job with our guys and life lessons. But I just felt like it was time that we needed to move in a different direction there, and I wish him all the best. He did a tremendous job while he was here and gave his whole heart to our program. So very thankful for him. And as we continue to move in the future, we're going to look for the best leader of that room.
Who's going to be coaching that position group for bowl prep?
Yeah, there'll be a combination. So Coach CJ Robbins will kind of move into the D-line as well as Coach Kevin Kane with the R's. So we'll kind of bring the whole D-line in together, then really have them kind of separate.
Jack Magruder from Fiesta Sports Foundation. Jack?
Yeah, PJ, could you talk about how would you define your team this year? It looks like you're a ball control, no mistake kind of unit.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at our football team, I mean, we want to be as balanced as possible. As guys in the Twin City area know, when I talk about balance, I'm talking about if you have to run the ball to win the game, you have to be able to run it. If you have to throw the ball, you better be able to throw it to win the game. And I think we've had to rely on both as the year has gone on. We're playing a freshman quarterback, and anytime you do that, there's going to be there's going to be some really peaks. There's going to be some dips here and there. But I think he's learned an awful lot, and everything starts with your quarterback of how much you can actually do on offense. And we've thrown a lot at him, and I thought he's handled that in a very first-class fashion. He's gotten better every single week. He's a high processor. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, it's always come down to the fundamentals and technique on defense. So we're really good at our fundamentals and techniques on defense. We can play a really good football. When we lack in terms of that, whether that's alignment or assignment or technique, then we haven't been very good. So we've had some consistency, we've had some inconsistency, we've had some ups and we've had some downs, but the response and the resiliency of this football team to go 7-0 at home, I think shows a lot about our fans, our band, our student section, how hard it is to play in Huntington Bank Stadium. But we've had a challenge when we've gone on the road. So we've got to be able to close that gap, do some things a little bit differently. But this is a really, really resilient football team. They've been through a lot this year. There's been some of our best players have been hurt all year. We've been youthful at a lot of positions. We're not deep at a few positions. Some positions we are. But this is a very resilient football team. And whether that's during the game or whether that's responding to adversity or failing, this team has always bounced back from a win or a loss in a first-class fashion and found a way to play better the following week. So, we've got a great challenge ahead of us. we're just going to continue to put our head down and do everything we can to keep rowing that boat and get better every single week and keep changing our best.
Thank you, Coach. Greg Simbeck has a question for you. It was, what's the proper balance in giving your players some rest after a long season, helping recover for some injuries, and then also preparing for New Mexico?
It's a great question. Generically, it looks a little bit like this. Like last week was a lot of our young guys practicing. A lot of our older guys we held out, get them rested, get them recovered. A lot of those guys were beat up. Some guys we got back from injury that weren't there over the last few weeks of the season last week. And then once we get into this week, it's a little bit Minnesota and Minnesota. We now have our opponent, so the coaches will start game planning. And as we get towards the end of this week, we'll start getting into New Mexico more and more. That third week is really game plan New Mexico. And then by the time we leave for the bowl game, a lot of our game plan's done. And then we go out to the bowl game like it's a normal week. So that's kind of how we break it down. But there is a balance. And we've had 2 practices already, but a lot of the varsity guys or guys who have played a lot this season did not practice. A lot of our youth practiced. And then a lot of the bowl practices are a little bit shorter. We can get a lot of work done in a short amount of time. You have less guys, so the scout team goes a little bit down because of guys hitting the portal or guys leaving early or guys opting out. So you really got to almost self-serve each other. So it makes it a little bit different. So practices are definitely unique for bowl practice than they are during the season.
All right, sneaking in under the gun, I think we'll allow Andy Greeter to have one more, Coach. What do you think about that?
I don't know, man. Andy, are you sure he got in on time?
He did. He knows your cadence, I think. So he knew when you were just about done with that last answer to plop his hand.
Go ahead, Andy.
Just beat the play clock.
There you go, man.
You've done a great job of retaining players year over year. I know that that's been a focus of what you're doing now. How would you kind of describe where you're at with that and what you might have for next year?
It's unique. There's a lot of negotiations going on. That's for sure that we talked about with college football, the changes. But our players have been great. You know, there's so many learning moments throughout this, whether people agree or disagree with all of it. Our players have been absolutely outstanding with the negotiation piece. And, you know, everybody talks about this business piece, but if it was just business, then it doesn't have feelings. But there's human beings. These are young people. So we always say like this program has nothing to do with business. There's a small piece of business in this program. That's transactions within a transformational program. And that's part of being a student athlete these days. But this program is not a business program. There's a business aspect and a piece of it, a small piece of it. And that's what we're going through right now. But what I love about it is calling our players in, even though they have their agents, even though they're working with Garrett and Marcus, our GM, our director of player personnel, they're also learning a lot, I hope, from me. And I'm learning a lot from them. But having open, transparent conversations where they're going to have to do that one day. They're going to have to go out to dinner with the president of an NFL team or a GM or an owner, and they're going to have open conversations. So this is all part of the educational system. Some people want to ignore that, call that all business. They're supposed to learn in college, academically, athletically, socially, and spiritually. Well, now this professional piece is kind of hit. They should be educated just like they're sitting in class. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. Might take a little longer than normal, but it's okay because the process is worth it. And the education is priceless. And there's going to be some guys we can keep, some guys we can't keep. I think that's right for everybody, or that's true for everybody in the country. But I'm really, really proud of our guys and the maturity that they handle all this with. And it's a tough few weeks. It is. It really is, because you just don't know who's coming back. There's a lot of things being said. There's different, negotiations being done. It's very unique, but I think coaches and players are learning a lot from all of this, and you know what fits you and you know what doesn't. And that's okay. At the end of the day, you're going to create a football team that fits you, that they selected to be there, and that you've learned a lot as a football coach and who you bring in.
Fantastic. Thank you, Coach Fleck. We enjoyed seeing you here today, and we look forward to seeing you in a few weeks back here in the Valley. Enjoy your warm weather up there, and we'll try and make sure it's warm enough for you when you get down here.
We can't wait to get to the Rate Bowl. Can't wait to come out to the desert. Thanks a lot, Scott. Appreciate you, man. Roll the boat, Sky Mile. Go Gophers.
All right.